And I'm like, I will be making a spear. A do-it-yourself spear. Actually, it's already a spear, but I'm going to make it better. I have this dagger blade on one end of this homemade do-it-yourself spear, and it's been bent. It's a very thin blade, and I've used it in martial arts training, stabbing things, wood boards and stuff, and it's been bent. It's a little bit too thin of a blade. It's still functional, you can still stab in the body with this, but it's not as good now as it was before it was straight. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add another knife to the other end of the spear. There's going to be a pointy end on each end of this. This is a broom handle. I'm going to add a knife. Just that this is simple to do it yourself home defense weapon. And by seeing what I do, you can learn how to do that yourself, and it's very cheap. So in total, a broomstick like this might cost around $1 or $10. Not $1, $10, around $10. Then you can get a knife around $10, like the Fiskars K4 knife, for example. This cost around $10 on Amazon. You could use a knife like this. And I'm not going to use this knife because I like this knife, and I'm not going to sacrifice that for this project. I'm going to use this. This is the hard head to the knife that I have on my plate here a lot of time. I'm going to use this for the spear tip on the other end of this. Alright, so this should take less than 30 minutes in total. And for this project I will use duct tape, hot glue, and a broomstick. That's all you need. If you have some kind of string, nylon string or whatever type of string, you can use that and make it stronger. You can also use zip ties. I have a glue gun heating up over here. And it should be ready. This is the glue gun. What I'm going to do, well actually I'm going to use that first. I'm going to flatten the handle. I'm going to flatten the broomstick first. One side. Similar to this. See, it's flat here, more flat. That makes it easy. If I put a knife here and it's round, it doesn't fit that well. It's better if it's flat. If you attach it to a flat surface, more flat surface. What I'm going to do, I'm going to round this. No, I'm going to straighten this, flatten this, to create a better attachment point for a knife. I'm going to start with that. This should be like a 30-minute crafts video. How to create a, showing you how to create a do-it-yourself spear for home defense or other purposes in less than 30 minutes with cheap and readily available materials. And all I will use is duct tape, hot glue, and a cheap utility knife. A spear is a very good home defense weapon. If you live in a country where you can't legally own firearms, then a home defense weapon, a good home defense weapon, is a spear. It is superior to a sword. The spear is superior to the sword in some ways. You have longer range. It's a weapon more suited for throwing. If you need to engage enemies at a longer distance. And you can use a spear like this that's light. You can use this in one hand, and you can have a knife in the other hand. That's a good combo. So you can have a spear here and attack at a long range. And if you get this on by your opponent, if they grab onto the spear and pull out your hand, you can quickly move in and stab them with the knife. So a good combination for home defense would be a spear and then a knife. So the spear in the right hand and a knife in the left hand. Good for home defense. So far what I've done, I've flattened this to create a better attachment point for the knife. It will be more securely fitted now that I've flattened it. If I put on a round, the round part of this, it will be harder to get the stick and it will be less secure. So since I flattened this, it will fit better. And this will also create a break. If you look at this angle here, it makes it harder for the knife to slide back. There's more resistance for it to, if it wants to move back. If force gets applied to this, if you stab something, that creates backward force on this. It wants to go back. And if you have a lot of slope here, it's harder for it to move backwards. Alright, so while I've been doing that, my glue gun has been heating up here. And I'm going to attach the blade first with some hot glue. And now I have to move fast to secure the knife. This is the knife I'm attached to this spear. It's a hard-head utility knife that I have customized. I've added jimping to here. And this is what I will use for the spear tip. And this handle is well suited for that. Because if you look close at the handle, it has grooves there. So I can get a string if I want to later on. Tied around. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that now. If I want to do that later, all I need to do is strip off the duct tape and then add some string to it. One thing that's good about a spear for home defense is you can attack people around corners without offering them too much of your body as a target. So let's say there would be a home invasion and I'm using the spear for home defense, and the way that my apartment is laid out, if I have a spear, I can stab the front door with the spear without exposing my torso or my head to the enemy. So I can attack around the corner. Let's say this is the corner, and over here is the wall. So I'm in cover, even from firearms. If the person breaking in has a firearm, I can stab them in the doorway without exposing any part of my body. That is one reason that a home defense. That is one reason a spear is good for home defense. And it also gives you the option to engage the enemies at a distance. You can use it as a projectile weapon, you can throw it. So it has some advantages over a sword or an axe or a knife. You can throw it at people. Now, a lot of the time it's better to hang on to it. It's primarily a melee weapon. And if you throw it away, there's a chance you might miss. And then you're also giving your opponent a weapon to use against you. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to move pretty fast here. Putting the glue here. Hot glue. It would be better to use construction glue, but I'm using readily available materials. Something that most people have at home or could acquire cheaply. I will assist with the left hand. Okay, put some hot glue here, not a lot. I put this knife here, as such. I'll get this duct tape. I'm not checking the chat, saw I had to do it popping before. I don't know if they wrote something or not. I won't know until I go out of full screen mode. I'll check the chat. Okay. And there will be some videos uploaded to this channel. I've made some shorts videos, and I made a video for total individuals. So I recorded quite a lot of videos tonight, and I will go through them and decide whether or not to upload. Oppressors never want. Tyrants don't like an armed populace, because it's hard to control people that are armed. I'm against gun control. Sweden is very bad in that area. but it's pretty firm already. Only using a little bit of hot glue and duct tape. This is pretty secure. Enough to stab somebody without it falling off, at least one time. You can get one good stab in at the very least. And I'm going to improve this even more. I had this hot glue gun plugged into an extension cable and it came loose. I'm gonna have to plug it back in before I apply more hot glue. Yeah, it's heating up now. While I wait for the glue gun to heat up, I'm going to roll a cigarette and I'll check the chat. See if somebody wrote something. I see I had a viewer before. It's cold in Sweden now, so I use candles, tea candles, tea lights inside. They heat up the room a lot more than you would think. Just one tea light makes a big difference in temperature. Just have one tea light in a big room like this room makes a big difference in terms of temperature. Yeah, so this video is a do-it-yourself project video, do-it-yourself homemade spear. And that's useful for people who live in countries where you can't legally own firearms for home defense, self-defense. A spear is a very good, effective weapon for home defense. And in some ways it's superior to a sword, as I mentioned before, or an axe, something like this. Some advantages are range. That's one advantage over a spear. You have great range. Another advantage, it's swift. It's a swift weapon. It's a weapon you can be swift with more easy than with a spear. It's quicker to deliver a stab with a spear than it is to deliver a stab with a sword a lot of the time. And it's also more suited for long range attacks. Okay, so now we'll check the comments. Let's see, I have 2 comments. And there's been some Russian chatbots in here. Don't click these links if you see these in live chats. There's bots going around on internet. They go to live streams and they post in links and try to bait gullible people into typing this in. And it could be ransomware, it could be a virus. You click this link and they put a virus in your computer. I block these. And my lovely, wonderful girlfriend
wife to be, we wonderful, showed up. Good morning. Good morning, honey. Yes, it is. Yeah, sure. I'll take a shower. Okay. I'll be back. You're welcome back, honey. I recommend you subscribe if you like good vibes content. You can subscribe to Be Wonderful, my wife to be. She has content that might interest women, especially, not only, but especially. She, one of the things she does for a living, she's an entrepreneur, self-employed. She sells coffee outside her house. She has a mini coffee shop outside of her house. And she also makes crochet items that she sells online. So she makes anything from keychains to hats, scarves, handbags, things like this. Knitting, crochet style knitting. She has some video instructions teaching you how to do that. If you want to learn how to crochet certain items, you can look at her channel. She teaches that. This is us. We talk every day on video calls. She's a lovely woman. I'm going to add a soundtrack here, background music, which you can do with StreamYard. At a low volume, 15. $16. Feeding the ducks. Here you go. And then we have 2 more chatbots show up in here. Don't click these links unless you want a virus. I blocked them. Okay.
Okay. And I'm back. Now the hot glue should have heated up enough to apply some more of this. So what I'm going to do, there's a bit of a gap here in the front. Here. And also at the back. And I'm going to apply a liberal amount of glue here. Both sides.
Alright, there you have it. It's the finished product.
So the only items I use for this are readily available and cheap materials. A hot glue gun, hot glue sticks, duct tape, and a cheap utility knife. Those are the 3 items you need to make the spear, other than the broomstick itself, which is also cheap. So it's only using cheap materials. Now I have my double spear. It has a blade in each end. And I'm going to test this by stabbing into the wood board here. And as you can see, it holds up. If you can stab a wood board, you can stab a human skull, or an arm, or a leg, or the torso or rib. And if it holds up stabbing a wood board like that, then that tells me it would hold up stabbing a human body too. And it's still holding up. No sign of damage. It's not coming loose. Still holding up. You have to wiggle it to get it loose. Now you could also with this, you can't just stab with it. You can cut with this too, if you want to. And having 2 of these in each end, you can cut with it. You just have to mind the blade angle, so you don't hit with the broad side of the blade. Because then obviously you're just going to slap with the side of it, not going to cut. But you can't just, not all you can do with this is stab. You can also cut with it, if you with both hands. You can cut and stab with it. You can do combos, which means you can stab. If you have a 2-handed spear like this, you're going to have to stab, pull it back, and cut. You can do combos, stab, pull back, and then cut with the other one. But with a light spear, you can be fast. Like I said, you can use knife in your left hand, spear in your right hand. You can stab with this, cut, parry, and then follow up with right. And like I said, one advantage of the spear, if you have a corner, this is how my apartment is. The plan is here, I have a wall, there's a corner, and my door is over here. And if I would have home intuition, even if they have firearms, it's a concrete wall. I'm in cover, so they can't shoot me. To shoot me, they will have to circle around. And before they can do that, I can stab them around the corner, and all that's exposed is for a brief moment, something very small, which is hard to hit with a handgun. You can even keep it back here, move in like that. So 31 minutes. So it took less than 31 minutes to make this. As the title says of the video you clicked before you ask what I'm doing, in the title of the video you clicked, it says "Do to Self Project Homemade Spear." So that's what I'm doing, not surprisingly. A homemade spear. And now to the ultimate test, the harder test. I'm going to stab a metal radiator and see if we can achieve penetration of a metal radiator. And before I do that, I'm going to put my protection equipment on. In case the tip breaks off and comes flying back, which is something that can happen. I'm gonna wear glasses. And my meal take balaclava, which is good. And then we'll do a stab here. And as you can see, it is able to stab through metal. That's the holder. It actually went through and through. So this is the entrance hole on one side, and then the exit hole on the other side. So it stabbed this metal radiator through and through, and it's still functional. So that's proving that it's an effective weapon. Okay, somebody's like, well, duct tape and hot glue, that probably wouldn't work if you hit something, but it's gonna break off. Well, like I said, if you can stab a wood board and stab through a metal radiator and it's still holding up, then you could stab something softer, like a human arm with bone in it, with torso, whatever, the skull. And if you can stab through the metal radiator, that tells me that the same amount of force would be expected to penetrate a human skull if you stab it. And that would be an insta kill most of the time if you penetrate the skull and go this deep into the brain. A lot of times they'll instantly kill somebody. You look like a pathetic piece of shit troll by the way you're talking now. Most likely you are a cyber stalker working for the government, because, and no, I'm not paranoid. Anybody can see if I look at my past live streams that I get harassed by people trolling my live stream all the time. So I'm not paranoid for saying that. Like anybody who's had the type of experiences that I've evidently has had on my live streams would be excused to think that. And usually they like to be annoying and retarded and ask stupid questions like you do, you little piece of shit. And you're trying to discredit me because that's what the government likes to do. You're doing subtle perception management most likely, and you're trying to make it look like I'm paranoid or crazy. Who's after you? What do you mean who's after you? Did you not watch my previous live streams, like the one you commented on before, where you can find me talking about government gang stalking and target individuals, and that secret society people put you on a list? And there's also a link in the description, you lazy bitch, that tells you exactly what government gang stalking and target individuals is. So instead of asking stupid questions, trying to discredit me for a little filth government, gang stalking, satanic monsters, sort of flying monkey for narcissistic psychopaths in secret societies, you can do your due diligence instead of asking stupid questions. Who's after you? Did I mention this video? Did I say somebody's after me? Is the title of this video somebody's after me? No. The title of this video is Due to Self Homemade Spear. That is an instructional how-to video showing people how to make an effective home defense weapon. Really, huh? Help me with what, in what way? Maybe you're waiting for your next line to be fed from you from your handler. What you're going to answer, because that's how it works. I've had a lot of government agents follow this government gang stalking program. And I'll put a link in the description since I'm talking about this. I'm a target individual. And personally, I believe it's because they have satanic secret society members who are in my extended relative circle. I have people in the Satanic Oddfellow Society and the Bifrost Society. And I believe that's from a target individual. I believe they put me on this list. That's my personal opinion and belief. I can't get sued for saying that. It's not slander. I know the Swedish law, I'm not naming names. But that's what I believe. And that's why I'm a target individual, as it's called, or government gang stalking. What is government gang stalking, somebody might ask? It's a modern, global version of the Schützen program that the German government had in the 70s and 80s. And they have a secret program working to destroy people's lives. It's a slow murder program. And they have unofficial collaborators. Every time I go outside, I get harassed, stalked. People do psychological warfare against me. And there's actual physical attacks. I get actually physically attacked from this program. And it falls everywhere, online, offline. Since I got on YouTube, starting to expose this, I've been harassed anytime I go live on my live stream, especially if I talk about government gang stalking. They will dispatch these troll agents to my live chat to mess with me. Sometimes they're very subtle. Basically, it's called dog whistling abuse. It's a tactic that cowardly satanic abusers, narcissists, and psychopaths like to do. They like to F with people. And then in a way that when you react to it, you look crazy. So they will abuse on the sly in front of others, F with you. And then if you react to it, it's like passive aggressiveness. Then if you react to it, then you're supposed to look like the bad guy, like crazy. Oh, I didn't mean that, I'm not doing that. I'm looking for my rolling papers. And part of what they do, the police are part of this too. Swedish police. It's a government program, so obviously the government-controlled police is going to be part of this. And I have video evidence of them hassling me before. One thing they like to do is when I do live logs, when I go outside, they're trying to use police intimidation, harassment tactics. So because I go outside holding a phone in public, like everybody does, the cops will use that as an excuse. So when I do a live log and talking to the live log, and I'm getting the word out about government gang stalk without crazy talk, have a link in the description, getting the word out about this. They don't like that. That's a threat to them. So some things they do, they will send fake TI crazy talkers to chat. Oh, I'm also talking to you. I hear voices in my head. So their job, I'm not discrediting myself. And I'm not discrediting the topic by the way that I talk about government gang stalking. Therefore, they try to discredit my association by having other people, fake talking individuals, come to my channel, and then they will make themselves sound crazy. And it's a subtle form of perception management. And they're hoping that the public will be like, oh, here's another guy who claims to be part individual, and he's obviously crazy, therefore Mike must be crazy too. That's how they do it. And these pathetic, corrupt, disgusting police who deserve to be dead because they have been helping to murder somebody slowly. They deserve to be dead, the Swedish police officers that have harassed me and who have helped out in a program designed to kill me and my life. They deserve to be dead. Okay. Here's the point. they will harass me. So that I actually have video evidence of that. I'm outside walking. I'm not walking around naked screaming, I'm gonna kill you or something. I'm walking around holding a phone in public. And there's no neon sign above my head saying I'm live streaming right now. I'm just walking around holding my phone. I could be on a video call. This is 2022, not 1940. So it's not really weird to see somebody going around holding a phone. Even if I was going around holding it like this, it looks like I'm taking pictures or recording a video, which is something people do. That's my bird. Yeah, and they will come up, the cops, several times it's happened, they will come up. What are you doing? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you filming? It's kind of weird. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And they will, that's police intimidation tactics. And at least 2 times I've been stopped by uniformed police alive. Since I moved into the city, I've been harassed by police. And they bothered me like 10, 15 times since I moved to the city. But what I have on video since I started live streaming, which is a big deal why I started live streaming, because the court system is corrupt. So if I'm in court and I claim, well, the police have been harassing me, and the cops say, no, we haven't done that, 9 out of 10 times the judge will rule in the favor of the police officer's side of the story. Therefore, it's good to have a digital witness that cannot lie. So if I have a live video of it, then we can't really deny what happened. And one time they even did something that it's like, oh, okay, he's not giving up. We're trying to make him be like, oh, this is uncomfortable. I'm not gonna stop live streaming outside here to worry about government gang stalking. I'm gonna stop doing that. Because when I do this, it's uncomfortable things happen. I get harassed by the police. It's easier just to, well, I'm not the coward public who is not willing to sacrifice for the truth and will give up if things get a little bit uncomfortable. So since I kept live streaming when I go outside getting word about government gang stalking, like, okay, it's not enough that we threaten him when he does it, and it's not enough to have police sometimes stop and harass him and try to make him feel uncomfortable when he's doing this. He's still not stopping what he's doing. So we'll try to up the ante. We'll have a unmarked car. First we'll threaten him that we're gonna murder him, we're gonna send hitmen to take him out and things like this, like they threatened me to do, subliminal. And then after we've done that, when he's outside walking, we'll have a car speed up, park right next to him when he's walking on the sidewalk, have 2 men jump out, and they're armed. I can tell they're armed. And they're civilian clothing. And then they start moving towards me, getting close to me. And that's supposed to make me fear for my life and think that, oh, here's the Illuminati hitman they've been threatening me about. Gonna come kill me. And they're hoping I'm gonna react so they will have an excuse to use lethal force on me. That's what I believe. Subtle assassination attempt, trying to get me to react in a way that they would be excused to use lethal force. Because they're so close that if I would do something stupid, they might be easier for them to justify like shooting, because, well, he was so close, we didn't have the time to whatever. There's certain rules that police officers have to follow. So if you're 50 meters away from them, 15 meters away from them, and you're doing something, they have to like shout commands, get on the ground, stop what you're doing, whatever. But if you're that close, they could be excused to like shoot you because, well, he was so close, we didn't have the time to do anything else. Yeah, so if somebody out there wants to say I'm paranoid for speaking the truth, I'm not worried about that. I've passed the point of caring about ridicule. Okay, yeah, like I was right. I wasn't checking the chat, but they have somebody here who's playing the role of a concerned do-gooder, and looks like a subtle attempt to discredit me as a crazy person. So no, we're worried about you. Well, you're insane, see? Gaslighting. No, I'm not insane. What I'm saying is the truth. Actually, by the definition of the word delusion and insanity, the people who deny the reality, they have a delusion that something is not real. Okay? If you have a delusion that Santa Claus
You're 30 years old, you believe that Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy exists. And politics is real. And the government has nothing to do with 9/11. Then you have delusions. You're delusional. You're holding ideas in your head, beliefs, that you believe this is reality. But it's not, as a matter of fact, reality. It's a delusion. So you have delusional ideation. You believe untruths in your mind. That's insanity. So you can be insane by holding beliefs about things. This is real, but it's not real. You can also be delusional by rejecting reality. It's like gravity isn't real. God isn't real. Evolution is real. That would be another form of insanity. So actually, the people who deny the reality that this government program called modern day Resetsen, aka government gangstalk to individuals, the people who deny that that is real, they're insane. Okay. And as a matter of fact, you speak out of ignorance. So first of all, I'm not insane. And it looks like you work for a program who's trying to discredit me. One of the goals of the program is to sleep deprive the target individual. So this is a program that works to drive you insane. If you're a target individual, they work to drive you insane, to push you over the edge. That's what the program is designed to do. They attack with what's called the cortisol PTSD stress weapon. So they do things to stress you out. And that's intended to create PTSD, CPTSD, and hyperadrenalization, fight-flight activation, and long-term you're likely to develop CPTSD and or PTSD as a result of being targeted with this program. And one of the things they do, they attempt to sleep deprive the target individual. So there's something called noise harassment. And let's say the target is about to sleep, they could send a vehicular stalker to drive outside the house and honk the horn. Don't. Right as you're about to fall asleep, you're under surveillance, so they know that you're trying to sleep. And then there will be a lot of noises, or the neighbors will be banging the walls, things like this. So that's part of the targeting. So we have two guys with two people in the chat with truth in the handle. Hello. There's a Bible verse, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So what I focus on in life is a guiding principle. It's not to be persuasive and convincing and things. I focus on being truthful in what I'm saying. And you can never defeat the truth. All you can do is you can get people to believe lies. You can get people to believe that the truth is not the truth. You can ridicule the truth. You can try to attempt to undermine the credibility of people speaking the truth. But you cannot defeat the truth. You cannot change the truth. So gravity is the truth, a fact. And you have people out here claim that gravity isn't real and the earth is flat and all this stupid stuff. But they cannot like remove the truth that gravity is true. They can brainwash dumb people, gullible people into thinking, well, yeah, gravity isn't real. Even though reality itself teaches you that gravity is real. This is a plastic object here. What pulls that object down to the earth when I release it is gravity, the force of gravity. Yet you have people who refuse to believe that gravity is real. So yeah, it's a wild world. So it looks like you're delusional here. You seem to be under the impression that the reason that I'm into martial arts and making a video on YouTube, you seem to be delusional here, because nobody's saying that the reason I'm making a do-it-yourself homemade weapon is that I think somebody's out to get me. It seems like you're grasping at straws, trying to prove a theory or trying to create a narrative that I am crazy, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing in this video. Maybe you're unaware of the fact that I'm interested in martial arts. I have a whole YouTube channel called Mike's Martial Arts, It's a special interest, you might say. It's one of the things I'm interested in, like a hobby. One of my biggest interests are martial arts, weapons, military history, military video games, different types of martial arts use your body, martial arts with weapons. It's something I've been consistently interested in since I was a child. But you seem to have some kind of delusional perception filter that the reason that I'm engaging in the activity of creating homemade weaponry is that I'm motivated to do this because I think somebody's out to get me. Somebody's about to get me. I need to make a weapon. Oh, look, I look so crazy. You seem to be trying to create some kind of twisted false narrative here. Change reality in some way. Because the facts of the matter don't support that interpretation. There's nothing displayed in this video, said in this video, or done in this video that would lead a person, a rational, logical, analytical person, to believe that the reason I'm making a video, creating a homemade spear, do-it-yourself spear, is that I'm under the impression somebody's about to get me. I need to make a homemade weapon right now. Boogeyman is coming. It's like, where are you getting this from? You seem to be suffering some kind of delusion. I believe you need help. There's medication that can help you. Niacin. There was a doctor, Abram Hofer, a Canadian orthomolecular psychiatrist, who had a greater success rate than mainstream psychiatry in treating schizophrenia patients. And there are a lot of people are delusional. They think that if they have psychological problems, the right way to deal with that is to go to a psychologist, and they are the best at helping people with mental health. Nevertheless, here's some truth to the contrary, some evidence to the contrary, anecdotal. I've cured my depression with vitamins. I used to have panic attacks. I didn't have one panic attack for close to a year now, I think. But I used to have panic attacks frequently, every month, and I have no shame about admitting that. And I've been depressed in the past, and I've had lots of anxiety and stress, and I've cured this myself. So I've had a complete cessation of panic attacks. Not improvement, like, well, I used to have a panic attack every 2 weeks, and now it only happens once in a month or something. No, complete cessation. Used to have panic attacks frequently. Wouldn't be a month without a panic attack. And for at least 9 months now, I did not have one panic attack. So I cured my own panic attacks without talk therapy, without big pharma medication. And I've also cured my depression and sleeping problems without consulting a psychologist. So I have a high degree of competency than psychologists do. There's a guy called Jordan Peterson, a clinical psychologist, and he has a lower degree of competence than me in helping himself with psychological problems. He used to be plagued by anxiety, and he got on benzodiazepines. He reached for the help from psychology, and it hurt him. Because he went to a doctor and got prescribed with benzodiazepines for his anxiety, he got addicted to them. Benzodiazepine drugs are highly addictive. And as addictive as heroin and some like hard street drugs. And he got addicted to it. And he went running to Russia trying to get off them, and he had a lot of problems becoming an addict to these drugs because he went to the psychologist thinking that they are the experts. Now, I used to be plagued by lots of anxiety too, but being higher competence than Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist, in improving psychological health problems, I didn't do that. I cured it myself at home. I reduced my anxiety levels and my stress levels, and it wasn't like a joke. I probably had high levels of anxiety than Jordan Peterson, and I fixed that myself. And I'm being patient with you. I mean, you're being very, very irritating because you're a fool and you're implying that I'm insane for telling the truth to you. And you are ignorant too. And it seems like you dropped out because I beat your ass in arguments. I just made an argument that cannot be denied. Jordan Peterson thought it was a good idea to go to the doctor because they're the best at knowing how to cure psychological problems. And I had the same problem that he did. And because he lacked the knowledge that you can cure anxiety And lower stress, anxiety is a form of stress. It's increased cortisol, the stress hormone. It's increased adrenaline, noradrenaline. Like the stress, a stress state, anxiety, is a physiological state. And if you can lower the cortisol and the adrenaline that is associated with the stress state, you can effectively treat the problem. Okay. Since he lacked this knowledge, he turned to the psychologist and the big pharma drugs, and he became addicted to narcotic, toxic, dangerous big pharma drugs. Now, big pharma drugs are dangerous. People die every month from prescription drugs. There's many deaths every year from prescription drugs. With vitamins and supplements that are as effective, and in a lot of cases more effective than big pharma drugs, do the same thing as big pharma drugs. There's not these side effects associated to them. The Center for like Poison Control in America, they keep track, they have a database of deaths. So if somebody calls into poison control, they're dying, and they ask, what did you take? Well, I took ibuprofen. Oh, okay, it's a side effect from ibuprofen. So they keep a track of what people die from every year. And there's no recorded deaths from vitamins. But there are plenty of recorded deaths from big pharma drugs. Even the most harmless big pharma drugs, such as like Tylenol, antihistamine pills, ibuprofen. People die from that every year. Yeah, that's the problem with them. That's why a lot of people are brainwashed zombies. They lack the confidence that I have. I don't need narcotic medications. I realize that the real medicine is supplements. Okay. I think that niacin can help you. And megadose and vitamin C and magnesium, maybe you get some more mental clarity. You grew up in America, maybe you're on some kind of narcotic drugs that's clouding your judgment and not helping you think clearly and analytically. I think that something that could help is if you get off these narcotic drugs that you're on, if you're on drugs. You said everyone in America takes meds, so if you're in America and you're on meds, you're on some kind of drug, you should probably stop being on drugs. That would be good for you. You might be able to realize some things that I've been telling you, the veracity of my statements, that there are alternative ways to deal with psychological problems. That might get through to you if you get off the drugs you're on. I want to help you, see, and I think it could be helped by some start you on some vitamin C, magnesium, and niacin to begin with, and taper off the crazy pills. I think that can help you to be more rational and sane. So already we've seen proof of some delusional thinking and some inability to perceive reality, because somebody makes a video. One of the channels I'm live streaming to is called Mike's Martial Arts, and the channel I'm live streaming to right now, you can find several videos like practicing martial arts, doing martial arts sparring, doing shadow boxing. So it's clear. There's nothing indicating that it's like you will have to be insane or trying to fabricate a false view of reality to push the narrative that nobody's out to get you. It's like, wow, you're believing that the reason I'm doing a tutorial, instructional video, how to make a homemade spear, is that I'm under the impression that somebody's about to come get me. That's why I'm doing it. And that's a delusion, because that's not the truth. If you would have done your due diligence, you would have seen I've got many videos where I'm practicing martial arts, I'm talking about weapons, I'm into knife martial arts. That's an interest of mine. So you seem to be reading things in the absence of evidence to support your view, you seem to still be delusionally having some kind of skewed view of reality here, aka delusion. Or you're desperately trying to enforce a false narrative, a false version of events here, a false version of reality. Either way, you got some problems. Yeah, that's why a lot of people are so stupid. That's why people are so irrational and stupid and brainwashed and like zombies. It's because a lot of people are narcotic drugs, and these things are toxic and affects people's judgment. You're a fool. You're a retard and you're a fool. You're telling somebody who's telling you the truth that they are insane and they should be on toxic, dangerous medications. You can go fuck yourself, you pathetic piece of shit. Okay? And actually, you're insane, you piece of shit. And you need to get off the meds if you're on meds, because you're fucking insane. You're delusional and you're denying reality. And you know, there's a lot of people like me out here, crazy conspiracy theorists. Okay? I'm not the only person out here questioning Big Pharma and all this fucking stupid shit that you like to talk about. So I've had patience with you until a certain point, but once you start pushing the toxic drugs, it's like people trying to tell me to take a certain thing that people are taking right now. It's harmful advice. Okay. Hello, babe. Welcome back. I've been dealing with some of the typical government agents coming to my live stream, and their job is to try to discredit me. They want people who watch this video to think that I'm crazy because they are afraid that people are going to figure out the truth, that there exists a secret government program. And the government is really afraid of people finding out that there's a secret program called government gang stalking targeting individuals. And how they try to keep people from realizing to believe this truth speaker, this whistleblower that I am, courageously working to expose tyranny and corruption and take a lot of damage as a result. One way that they try to undermine the truth is to discredit the messenger so that people will not believe the message, the truth. That's a classical tactic that satanic psychopaths in smear campaigns and attempts to discredit people who speak the truth about corruption and evil going on. It's classical. It's a tried and tested method they use. You're crazy. You're paranoid. You're telling us about this conspiracy going on and people doing bad things about you. I'm concerned about you. I think you need help and you're crazy and get on some meds. And no, it's disgusting, really. I am happy. I'm most likely happier and more fulfilled than you. And I'm happier, more fulfilled, and in better shape and fitter and happier, more fulfilled, psychologically and physiologically, more happy than the average person. I see what people are like. I watch YouTube about how people are. I read statistics. Most people are miserable now. They're out of shape and ugly. They're low energy. They have anxiety. They have stress. That's why people go. You said it yourself that most people, not all people in America, that's not true. You're being inaccurate. But a lot of people in America are on drugs. That's why, because they're unhappy. People like me who are happy, have high energy levels, are in better shape than the average person. We don't go like, oh, I can't deal with reality, I need drugs. Doctor, give me something to make me feel better. Because that's not me. I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, I have meaning in my life. I'm not unhappy, okay? And may your change sit lightly upon you. I choose rather the exhilarating, invigorating battle for truth. I'm loosely referencing a quote by some of the founding fathers. It's like, to those of you, whatever, may your chains rest lightly upon you, and may history forget that you were a countryman. That's the quote that I'm referencing. The animating contest of liberty. There you go. The animating contest of liberty. If you want to choose to be a zombie, take drugs and be a stupid idiot, a piece of shit sheep out here, and be on your zombie drugs, and you can do that. And I'll be a real man in a world filled with weak men, cowards who won't resist evil, and people are ignorant. And I'll live out the remainder of my life as a free man, red-blooded man, doing something great, fighting against evil. Okay, and you can go serve what you're serving. So we had two people in here with a truth in the handle. See, I'm good with pattern recognition. Real truth. Truth Myers. But funny how people who have truth in their handles here, they're serving lies and they're attacking the truth. So somebody is out here speaking the truth about things, and then you have people coming to attack the truth, and they have truth in the handle. At least one of them. This is most likely the same people. I deal with a lot of these enormous trolls doing subtle perception management. It's like they're afraid of people believing me. They had to work really hard. It's like the truth is the truth. But if you want to control the narrative, and it's like people who serve evil, they are afraid of the truth because it's like the truth has power, and the whole world system is based on lies. So they have to keep supporting it. It's like you build a house from sandwood or something. There's gonna be cracks. It's gonna need a lot of maintenance. Like, oh, it's cracking over here. We need to run and put some supporting beams over here. Reinforce this part over here. Add another lie here. Or there's a truth attacking over here. It's starting to have an effect. We need to quickly suppress this. It takes a lot of work and effort and resources to maintain false narratives. And the truth about government gang stalking, that's a threat to the satanic movement order to control the server from behind the scene. Now, why do you ask? What is the purpose of your inquiry? Why do you ask that? And then we have somebody called Honest. So I recognize some of these people. They're blocked. I think I blocked some of these people on my main channel before. They came to my channel before multiple accounts, trying to discredit me and the government gang stalking, whistleblowing I'm doing. No, I didn't meet her yet, but we have plans to meet. These are bullet point facts about government gang stalking. This program that I'm talking about frames this and blacklisted. These are facts about government gang stalking. Targeted individuals, so-called TIs, are gang stalked for speaking out. List of revenge. So you offend a Freemason or somebody in the Odd Fellow Society or something like this, and a lot of people end up on this list that way. The FBI knows. They form a head. Let's just turn it around. I'm not on the defensive. Hey, you piece of shit. How do you answer this? The former head of the Los Angeles FBI, Ted Gunderson, a government insider, the head of the FBI, confirmed in a sworn affidavit the government gang stalking of targeted individuals is real. He confirmed that in a sworn affidavit. What do you have to say about that? He was crazy too, huh? Corrupt lists, secret trial by secret society, secret vigilantes, dole out vigilante. Well, how do you deal with the fact that I can produce proof I get motivated to? That I was going around, I wrote messages to people talk about Freemasons infiltrating my family and Freemasons doing bad things to me and stuff. Like there's a conspiracy and the Freemasons are involved and they were trying to infiltrate my life and stuff, attacking me. And then later on, I figured out that piece of shit cop, Swedish cop, has succeeded in like charming and becoming involved romantically with my sister. And later on, my sister tells me that they visited this cop's dad, and his dad is a Freemason. It's like that would be very rare that somebody's delusional. Like this person is crazy, therefore they think the Freemasons are trying to infiltrate their life and stuff. And then later on, reality lines up with their delusions. It's like, yeah, this crazy person is talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses is trying to infiltrate his life, and then it's like the Jehovah's Witnesses keep popping up where you can prove that. How do you deal with that? You felt? I guess I shut you up now because you go away and you got nothing to say. You didn't have something to say about Ted Gunderson, and you didn't have anything to say about what I just told either. For you can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. TIs are harassed. TIs are card mobbed. TI belongings vandalized. TIs are stalked. TIs are gaslighted. It's a psyop. TIs are slandered. That's called a smear campaign. This government gang stalking is basically the same thing as narcissistic psychopathic abuse, only at a government institutional level. So you got to write the narcissist psychopaths. They also run smear campaigns. They do gaslighting. They try to discredit the target with their abuse and paint them as crazy and needing medication, things like this, so people won't believe them while they're abusing them. This is the same thing, only it's government level. So they have thousands of flying monkey minions and a huge smear campaign. And yeah, let's look at this too. Here. Crazy, this is how the government keeps government gang stalking secret. Crazy, unearthly crazy talkers. Gang stalking is huge. The government doesn't want word about gang stalking or quid pro to get out. But if the word does get out, they want it to sound crazy and unearthly. So they continually repeat far-fetched, unearthly, crazy sounding terms. Most people online claiming to be total individuals are fake total individuals. And something that they will always do is they will talk crazy. They will spew crazy talk. And what I mean by crazy talk is they will attach disinfo, misinfo. It is true that there is a secret program called government gang stalking of target individuals, a modern global version of the Zersetzen program that the German government had in secret in recent history. That's what it is. So that is true that it is a truth that it exists a program called government gang stalking. Okay, and it is true that people are harassed. They put on a list. There's a group effort to destroy this person's life, discredit them, make people think they're crazy, things like this. That's true. But then they will attach the fake TIs working for this program to discredit it, the crazy talkers. They will attach untruths with their talk about the program. That's why fakes like Scott Snitzer will upload videos like with this title, gang stalking, satanic, sinister vampires, aliens, and other fun stuff. It's to give a crazy look to the public by mixing in some it would be like me if I made a video, government gang stalking is real, reptilians stalking me. That would be crazy talk. And that is what I would be doing if I was a fake target individual work for the government, that type of stuff. Or target individual brain voices in my head. The government beams voices into my head when I'm trying to sleep. That would be what I would be doing if I was a fake TI. I will claim to hear voices in my head and anything that sounds crazy. Who are the crazy talkers? TI perps. The pride of working, forced homeless, must purpose starve. Paid perps, tricked. So you have some legit, like real target individuals who have been brainwashed by this fake TI community, listening to fakes like Scott and LFFTI, Erica Meyer, and all these people. They've been deceived into believing some of these disinfo talking points, and they're repeating it, parroting it. So they're gullible, they're spewing spewing nonsense they've been duped into believing. There's a small number of real TIs who act just like the paid crazy talkers. So that would be a useful idiot. Somebody who helps the government keep this going by discrediting it. Only they're not paid. They've been brainwashed and manipulated into being their own worst enemy. Like Stockholm Syndrome, a form of Stockholm Syndrome. It's like the government is abusing you, you're a total individual. And they need this to be discredited to be able to keep doing it to you and other people. And they've gotten you brainwashed by listening to fakes into doing things that help them keep this shit going. Yeah, so this is a good website. You can find the link in the chat. And it's a modern global version of the Succession program. I'd like to put a link to that too. I'm already happy, okay? And like I said, I'm more happy than the average person. Why do you think, like you said, all people in America are on drugs or medication? You're incorrect, first of all. You should learn to be precise in your speech. Not every person in America, all means all. So unless it's 90, like even if it was 99%, you might get away with like, well, it's not totally inaccurate, but not too far off. But I don't even think that it's 90%. I think it's below 90% of people in America. If you will count every person who lives in America, probably below 90% will be on big pharma drugs, or somewhere around 90%. I know this for a fact, it's not 100%. You can find many people in America who are not on any big pharma drugs. Alternative medicine is quite big. So yeah, the reason so many people are on drugs now is because they're unhappy, they're unfulfilled, and that's why mass formation psychosis is present. That's how the elites manipulate people. You can see that play out with some things going on right now. They create a witch hunt. They create a mass psychosis in people, mass formation psychosis, where people, and what's needed is the people have anxiety and worry, and they're uneasy and they're worried and afraid. That's the foundation. Problem, reaction, solution. And then the elites give the single point to focus their frustrations on. That could be a target individual. Target individuals are what's wrong with society. We need to get rid of them. Join government gang stalking. Help us keep an eye on and harass this evil target individual. It's a modern witch hunt, is what it is. It's the same psychological dynamic at play as you can see in the medieval period witch hunts. That's what government gang stalking is. And it's also something that's mirrored in some other current events. Why people are acting the way they're doing right now in regards to a certain sickness going on. Mass formation psychosis. And they're gonna keep trying to discredit me, and they're gonna keep sending people to my chat to claim that they're also target individuals and they're fake. And if you go click their channel, you will find videos, crazy talk videos, where they make themselves look crazy because that's their job. And that's not real TIs. I'm a real target individual. That's a rare thing. Most people online talk about this and claiming to be targeted with it. They're fakes. Some of them used to be real target individuals, and then at the lowest point, they took a deal, and now they're a filthy, disgusting servant of satanic evil, part of a group effort to murder people. And they used to despise the people who did this to them, and now they become everything they used to hate. That's got to be a miserable existence. And eventually their conscience will be seared as with a hot iron, because you will have to do so much mental acrobatics and justifications to feel okay and not feel like a horrible scum filth if you're helping this in any capacity. Your own conscience will convict you of the truth that this is wrong to do to somebody. And they will have to engage in mental acrobatics and justification, like maladaptive coping mechanisms to dodge the laser beams of responsibility, as it were. and eventually that will sear their conscience, and they will be more like a psychopath or narcissist at the latter end of their life, which is something they brought on themselves. For we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. I've seen that play out, that spiritual law, as you could say. I've seen that play out myself. Like I mentioned before, the government has been harassing me, police officers here in the city. I've been harassed by the police like more than 10 times. Definitely more than 10 times since moving here. I lived here not that long, a few years, and I've had many interactions with police. It never has it been that I'm running around naked, screaming I'm gonna kill people. But it's always been I've been acting normal, okay? Outside, being a normal person, doing normal stuff. And then I've been approached and harassed by police. And like I said, I recognize why they're doing it. Since I started live streaming especially, they're trying to make me have a negative association in my mind to the activity of live streaming, with a link in the description to the website I just screen shared. Because that's a threat to them. Like I said, like I've spoken to in times past, on numerous occasions, I have truthfully stated that they don't want the word to get out about gun and gang stalking, but I'm crazy talk. Since I'm doing that when I live stream with a link to this website, that's a threat to them. And they will have to counter that in two ways, main ways. Send fake target individuals to my chat. Hey, I'm also a target individual. And if people click their link, check out the channel, they'll see crazy talk there. So they're trying to subtly attach some crazy talk, some discrediting crazy talk to my talk or the program. Like discreditation by association. It's like Mike doesn't make himself sound crazy enough, so we'll have to send some crazy talkers to try to tag on some crazy talk to his talk about the program. That's one tactic to use. And then also trying to get that negative association. Like, let's create uncomfortable experiences when he does this activity, hoping to create like a subconscious negative association to the activity of live streaming in public, so that he will behavior modify himself and cease this activity. I recognize that, and that hasn't worked. And actually, it had the opposite effect. It's like I did a video, a live stream, and then the civilian police jumped out of the car and harassed me, which is kind of weird. A guy's outside live streaming, which is 2020 is normal. A lot of people do vlogs, they record videos, take photos in public. There are people with YouTube channels who do day in the life vlogs. You can find a lot of that. It's not like rare, like what, somebody's walking around with it, holding a phone in public, call the cops. So it kind of looks weird, like undercover police pull up on a guy outside walking, holding a phone, jump out, like, what are you doing here? Whatever. That kind of looks weird. And then later, I cut a clip from this live stream when this happened and uploaded it to YouTube. And at the time, that was my top video with the most views. So, and I put the link to this website in the description. So I got the most views on this video out of like many videos. It had a record of all my videos. Now I have some shorts videos with 2.3 thousand views and so on and so forth. But I think at the time it was the top video, like the most views I got was this video, this short clip of being harassed by the police and them approach me in public. So that would be an instance of attempts to suppress truth having the opposite effect, blowback as they would call it in the CIA, where there's or Newton's third law, to every action there's an equal opposite reaction. So it's like you put in this amount of force attempting to suppress the truth, and there's an equal amount of force exposing the truth in the other direction. You can meditate on this for some time. But yeah, for we can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. That's a Bible verse. The Bible teaches that there is nothing you can do against the truth. And think if you try to, you end up doing things that help the truth. There's also something called the Streisand effect, if you're not a Christian, where attempts to suppress and hide truth actually help the truth to spread.
This guy looked desperate, trying to make me look crazy. So Mike's crazy. He's making weapons. So you actually end up making yourself look crazy because I didn't make the video. Hello guys, somebody's out to get me, and I'm trying to make some weapons because I'm ready to defend myself. There's gonna be someone coming to get me, guys. Oh. That's not what happened in the video, was it? You click a video that says, "Do it yourself homemade spear," something like this, on a channel that has a lot of martial arts content. So a normal analytical rational person be like, well, this seems to be a guy looking at his other videos who's interested in martial arts and weapons and things like this. So I'm not surprised to see a video like this. But you seem to be really desperately grasping at straws, trying to make it look like I'm crazy for doing this. I didn't say I'm doing this because I'm expecting the people to come get me. Okay, this is valuable. There's a lot of people that have reached out to me and told me, thanks for making this video, that video. I didn't know you could do this. Or I've been looking for a self-defense weapon, and I never thought about the fact I can make one myself with like cheap. All I need is a broomstick and a utility knife, and I got a spear. Like that can be useful to people. So yeah, I think you look crazy. You look crazy. I'm gonna roll a cigarette. Maybe I'll lose my salvation if I smoke a cigarette. You can't lose your salvation. There's some foolish and unlearned heretic Christians who believe you can lose your salvation. You can't lose your salvation. That's impossible. Once saved, always saved is a biblical fact. Meaning, if you become a Christian, you are always a Christian. That's a King James Bible truth. I like this new addition to the StreamYard studio. You can play background music, non-copyright background music. So if you take a break or you just want to have some music on your video, you can do that. Just gotta click a button, you can select the volume, set it to the right level. You don't want it to be too loud so people can't hear you talking. But around 10%, between 10 and 20 is okay. I didn't even block these people. They seem to run away. I didn't block them. I challenged them to give answers to some things, and they didn't seem to be able to. So they ran away like little rats. Maybe they went to go take some narcotic big pharma drugs to feel better about themselves. Mouth so full of lies, tend to block your eyes. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Do-do-do, do-do-do. I don't have a guitar, so I'll have to replicate guitar effects with my vocal cords, my primary instrument. Yeah, babe, take it easy. That's her content chirp. The first chirp she made, that's her not content chirp. Sounds like that. She's angry or she's upset about something. Uneasy. And this chirp is more her content chirp. She makes this if she's in a good mood or she's happy. It's kind of like dogs. They have a happy bark, they have an angry bark, they have different type of bark. That's her irritated, angry curve right there. What's the matter, babe? See the music going. Yeah, so if you're interested in solutions to TI problems, if you're a target individual, and I don't expect to have any real target individuals find my channel because there's ghost banning, shadow banning, search result manipulation going on. So real target individuals are likely to end up on my channel. Mostly I deal with fakes coming to my channel. But if you were to find my channel, if a real target finds my channel, you'll find solutions to your problems as a target individual on this channel. One-stop shop solutions to TI problems. So what the narcissists like to do in smear campaigns to discredit the target of their abuse is to act concerned. They will. I've heard narc support type YouTube channels talk about this. It's like a smear campaign to discredit the target of narcissistic abuse can a lot of times look a lot like care and concern. You know what? I'm concerned about this person. I think they're crazy and they should see a psychologist. And meanwhile, you're abusing them and spreading rumors about them and trying to get people to think the person is crazy. So if they talk about the evil shit they do to you, people will not take it seriously. So a lot of times a smear campaign can look a lot like a concern, a discreditation effort can be made to look a lot like concern. And you know, I care about you. You know. As this is the link here to the website, and I'm simulcasting to the Mike's Martial Arts YouTube channel, which is something I figured out how to do recently. That you can broadcast to multiple platforms simultaneously. I think I could even broadcast to my Facebook page if I wanted to at the same time. I didn't try that yet, but I think you can. Yeah, so I'm gonna make some coffee and fill up my water jug, and I'll be back in like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And I'm back. Yes, it looks like we got rid of the pathetic fools. You would try to get people on narcotic drugs for speaking the truth. Looks to me like somebody trying to discredit me for the government, which is nothing new to me. They always do that. They send agents. It's just they have different methods to seek to accomplish the same end, which is to discredit me, the messenger. And they really need people to think that I'm insane and crazy, and they use different tactics to try to get that goal met. And sometimes they'll have fake concerned people. Mike, we're worried about you. We think you're crazy. Basically, you can translate that as they're not doing this for me, they're doing this for other viewers. You can translate that as, don't believe what Mike says, he's crazy. We are worried about you learning the truth about government gang stalking. That doesn't help our satanic evil agenda. And we really don't want the truth about this to get out. So please believe that Mike is crazy and he needs to be on meds. And then sometimes the fake TIs will show up here. And their job is to make them sound crazy because they want you to think anybody who talks about government gang stalking, they're crazy. And that works on some people. And on the topic of that, the police kidnapped me once when I was outside jogging at night. And they used weaponized psychiatry. They drove me to psych ward in the middle of the night. And I wasn't out screaming crazy nuts. I was outside exercising at night, jogging. And the cops pull up and say, we think you're crazy, psychotic. We'll drive you to the psych ward in the middle of the night. And I talked to psychologists and they cleared me, let me go. They cleared me as not being insane. So that didn't work the way that they had planned. The corrupt, satanic, failed police. That didn't work, see.
and they were trying to. The cops, their job was to get me committed to psych ward, to discredit me so people won't believe me when I talk about government gang stalking, because the government has been abusing me with psychological warfare and in different ways with this gang stalking program. So they tried early on to get me discredited and get slap a diagnosis on me. That didn't work. Talk to psychologists wasn't crazy. Let me go the same night right after the evaluation. This guy is not crazy. And in the waiting room, the male police officer was trying to stress me out, because people that are stressed out are more likely to come across as insane to people. So as I was sitting with a male police officer in the waiting room, he was cracking his knuckles and staring me in the eyes, trying to intimidate me and make me hyperadrenalized and create fight-flight mode in me, which would be like if I'm sitting in the same room with another guy and I'm cracking my knuckles and staring fiercely into his eyes, he's gonna feel threatened, see? And if he's gonna go talk to psychologists, he's gonna be stressed out and come in to the meeting in a stressed state and be more likely to come across as a paranoid person or a crazy person, because they're usually really stressed out. But despite that didn't work the way they had planned, and like I said, I got released the same night and cleared as not being insane. And I would advise the police to stay away from me. I think it's not a good idea for them to approach me anymore. Leave it at that. And I might initiate legal proceedings against the Swedish police, because there are some things they've done that may be illegal. Harassment, for example. Police should be out there catching bad guys doing bad things, not harass autistic people who are a lot of times stressed out enough without having police make them even more stressed. Doing things like drive up in the middle of it. One time, it's ridiculous. One time when I lived in another apartment in the city, I was at the Time store. You can see me go there shopping sometimes in my live vlogs. And one time after dark, I went there to buy some things. Back when my social anxiety used to be worse, something I cured myself of too, to a great extent. I used to be like a hermit more, and I would not like going outside. I had very severe social anxiety, and that's another thing that I've successfully treated and overcome a lot of that difficulty. But yeah, back then I used to go outside only at night and go quickly shopping with as little people as possible outside. So I went shopping in this corner store, and then I bought a lot of stuff. Like I had 2 bags filled with like heavy stuff like milk and yogurt and this and that. And I was walking pretty fast, and I sat down for a breather. So I put the bags down. I sat on a bench outside the apartment complex that I lived in, and sat there, took a breather with my grocery bags next to me. And then there's a cop car showing up. There's a lot of cop cars showing up when I'm outside. Just happened to be there. In this small town where you rarely see police unless you're a target individual. And they drive past and they do a U-turn, and they pull up and they have these bright headlights. They park the car right in front of me with with the like extra lights on, like full lights, and autistic people have sensor sensitivity, so they get stressed out easily by loud noises and things on top of the social interaction aspect, and seeing the police pull up. Also, the bright lights like shining right into your face, and cops coming out and trying to ask all kinds of questions. That's a very stressful event. Autistic people, they are more vulnerable to things like this. And I'm not whining. I'm just saying they are. Yeah. I might have a legal case against them. Now the court system is corrupt, so if you're being wronged by the system, you can't count on being vindicated by the system or the same system giving you justice. But in some cases, if it gets too obvious, then you might have some success in going to law with them. Some TIs think that you can beat this. They try to get you to waste your time. Some people in the TI community, fake TIs, they will be like, we're working on getting a class action lawsuit going, and they focus on the crazy talk, directed energy weapons, things like this. I wouldn't put too much hopes in that. Stopping gang stalking by going to the courts. How you stop this is by creating awareness, and the way that you create awareness is by getting the word out about government gang stalking without crazy talk. This without attaching disinfo, misinfo to talk about the program. Eventually, they had to stop the Schützen program in Germany, which was going on for years. And the Stasi were ripping up files and burning them in the street outside of government buildings to hide evidence when they got busted. Have another one of these Russian chatbots here. They're gonna get blocked. Don't click links like this. You watch a live stream and there's somebody coming in posting one of these links like wom.ung, that type of thing. That could be like a virus. You click that link and you get a Trojan horse or some ransomware attack or whatever they do. That's a negative trend on YouTube. If people live stream these chatbots showing up, they post links and they're hoping people are going to be dumb enough to type this into a browser and click it. I didn't block any of these honest, truth, real truth, truth in name only accounts. They scared like little rats when I started spitting some truth and getting off the defensive and on the offensive. They didn't have anything to say and they scared off like little rats. They're not blocked, this filth. Now I might block them now because I'm not too interested in dealing with this filth again. They've already been blocked on my main channel, and they seem to be keeping an eye on me because somehow they know they're watching my other channel too, and the same accounts pop up on this channel too. It's ridiculous. This filth. Honest. Yes, I blocked them now, actually. Block user. And then this. Real truth. And then this truth tellers. I'm already happy. I'm more happy than the average person. That's why I don't reach for big pharma drugs or psychology. I'm going to go live again with my special guest, my wife to be, my girlfriend so called. And we are intending to go live together on this channel maybe 30 minutes to an hour from now, somewhere in that time frame. We wonderful. This is her, and that bird is her namesake. I actually named my pet, my house bird, after her. So her name is Wee. Both of these are named Wee. Both of these. My girlfriend's named Wee, and the actual bird, my bird, quote unquote, that they used to call, like slang, they used to say a woman bird. Both birds, the actual bird and the bird so called, both of them are called Wee. Both of them are cute. Both of them are beautiful, and I love them both. Wee wonderful. She is wonderful. We talk every day on video calls. Some people, they will some people get jealous. I'm a guy who inspires jealousy and envy in a lot of people, which is something that happens. Haters are your secret fans. They perceive you to have higher value than them in different areas, and they get butthurt about that. And something they try to do is like, well, Mike, you don't have a real relationship because it's a long distance relationship. That's ridiculous. A lot of people are married to people they met through a dating site. Some of the most successful marriages and relationships start on the internet. And I have standards. It's hard to find real women in Sweden. Western women, America and Sweden, they've been masculinized just like men have been effeminized. So it's hard for a real woman to find a real man today. And it's hard for a real man to find a real woman. And my assessment is that it's easier to find, you're more likely to find a real woman in Asia. They haven't been subjected to the same culture conditioning, feminism culture, as Western so-called females have. So you have more natural women, real women in Asia than in Sweden and America. It's just a fact. Success story. I used to be really sick and run down, and I cured myself. Supplements, be my own doctor. Supplements is the secret to success. Vitamin C megadosing, niacin, cleaning up your diet can have dramatic results. If you learn how to use supplements, you can see some very real effects. And I'm in awesome shape, extraordinarily good shape, despite being told with a government program working to break me down physiologically and psychologically. I'm in better shape than the average man my age. Six pack, I have it. Niacin is something you can use if you have anxiety problems, sleep problems, anxiety problems. Niacin can also be used to boost detox practices. So if you do detox baths, detox saunas, you can use niacin alongside whatever method of detoxification you use. Detox baths, detox saunas, exercise. If you sweat more, you detox more. One of your main detox pathways is your skin. Sweat. When you sweat, your body releases toxins through your skin.
And something you can do to boost the detox effect you do through an activity that makes you sweat is to take enough nicotinic acid, aka flush type niacin, to give yourself a niacin flush. That increases circulation. It has a vasodilation effect, meaning it enlarges your blood vessels, make it easier for your blood to circulate. That's the cortisol PTSD weapon used on target individuals. So if you heard me talk about in my other videos, the stress weapon, or the cortisol PTSD stress weapon, that's the main attack method of the program. And I just showed a screenshot there, screen overlay from the website, and it talks about the stress weapon. So a lot of things that you get attacked with if you're a target individual when they go outside, even in your home if you don't have a security system, as I do, which keeps them from doing intense noise harassment because you can prove it. It's designed to give you stress. Okay, that's the reason for the directed speech. That's the reason for the noise harassment, the subliminal threats, the color sensitization tactics. You know what I'm talking about if you're talking individual. It's all designed to induce a stress state in you, which will lead to increased levels of cortisol and adrenaline. And if they can succeed, and they will, in achieving a high stress state in you and maintain that, you will eventually develop some form of PTSD. CPTSD and or PTSD. And then you'll be more vulnerable to this program. And as you could read, it says it's intended to affect the hormones. Do I look like a guy who's been affected by this program? No. I wouldn't be able to look like what I look like if they had succeeded in lowering my male hormones like testosterone and human growth hormone. So I'm a shining example of overcoming this program. I don't really look like a person who has been attacked by a weapon designed to lower your hormones. Why? Because they have the secrets to success. That's what I'm working to distribute, to minister to other total individuals. I lead by example. Adaptogens are scientifically proven to lower cortisol. It's not called a cortisol PTSD weapon for nothing. Adaptogens are proven to lower cortisol. Vitamin C, you can search Psychology Today. Search Google, Psychology Today, Vitamin C Stress Buster, and you'll find an article about vitamin C, a study where they show that vitamin C protects you against stress and helps you to perform better during stressful circumstances if you supplement with vitamin C. Magnesium also helps to lower stress. Speaking of that, it's time for me to take some of my supplements. I take supplements several times a day. That is often the way to take supplements. So if you want to take 6 adaptogen combo supplement tablets a day, you don't take 6 of them in one dose. You might take 2 of them in the morning and 2 of them at lunchtime and 2 of them in the afternoon. That's the optimal way to take supplements in divided doses throughout the day, not as one dose. Cauliflowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo, now don't tell me I've nothing to do. While you and your friends are worried about me, I'm having lots of fun. I keep hearing you're concerned about my happiness. All the thought you're giving me is conscience, I guess. If I was walking in your shoes, I wouldn't worry none. While you and your friends are worried about me, I'm having lots of fun. Cauliflowers on the wall, that don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire dawn with a deck of 51.
smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I have nothing to do. Okay? Yeah, so let's take some ALA here. Alpha lipoic acid. One of the side effects is it makes you more alpha. Sounds silly, but it's true. If you lower inflammation in your body by taking getting on my multi-antioxidant protocol, which includes, but it's not limited to, ALA capsules, which ALA is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. If you lower your inflammation, system-wide inflammation in your body, that is conducive to good hormonal health, which will maintain high levels of testosterone. So alpha lipoic acid can make you more of an alpha male, at least in your physique. And also interconnected, because if you have low testosterone, you're going to be more cowardly and fearful, and less courageous and weaker. Strength is a male attribute, so basically you'll be more manly if you have more testosterone. And most men now have low levels of testosterone. So you're welcome for that useful health advice. Bom, 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 bom. Get a B complex too. MSM. This is my grand supplement box here, loaded with supplements. This is NAC, N-acetylcysteine. That's also part of my multi-antioxidant protocol. This is a supplement that combines maca and L-arginine. That's not all it has. This is a combo supplement. It has maca extract, L-arginine, magnesium, zinc, vitamin B6, vitamin B2, biotin, and folic acid. I'll take 2 of those. And I'm still fasting. Something that helps if you take supplements on an empty stomach is if you take an omega-3 capsule, 1 or more, to slow down the uptake. At least somewhat. This is my adaptogen combo supplement. It combines 3 adaptogens: Russian root, Shisora, and Arctic root. So I get 3 adaptogens by taking 1 tablet. Then I also have other adaptogens that I take as standalone supplements. Ginseng, for example. Vitamin D. I'm going to take 1 vitamin D too. L-theanine, herbal antioxidant, green tea extract, 300 milligrams. This is a probiotic supplement, multi-strain. Look, if you want a probiotic supplement, look for one that combines many different strains of probiotic bacteria, and optimally it will be containing a lot of CFUs, colony forming units. 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. This is a gut-brain axis connection. So if you feel run down and depressed, one of the things you can do biohacking to increase the serotonin levels in your brain is to take action that ensures that is conducive to a good microbiome, microbiota, whatever you want to say. Basically, you want to have a healthy gut, and you will produce more serotonin. 90% of the serotonin in your brain is produced in your gut by bacteria, probiotic bacteria. So if you're depressed, a lot of times you can address that by doing things to improve your gut health. Which is ashwagandha, another one of these standalone adaptogens that I take. So I take one combo, the one I showed before, and then I take this, the ashwagandha, standalone. And it has ashwagandha extract and black pepper extract. The reason you can find black pepper extract as an ingredient in a lot of herbal supplements is that the piperin in black pepper boosts the absorption of the herbal medicine. Like do you find it in turmeric, ginger supplements, black pepper? The piperin in black pepper can boost the absorption of the curcumin in turmeric by up to 2,000%. It also helps to boost the absorption of the gingerols in the ginger. Learn something new every day. Find the right people to listen to. This is curcumin, also an herbal supplement, a natural anti-inflammatory antioxidant substance. Curcumin can be found in onions, and curcumin is the agent, the thing inside of the onion that gets released when you damage the onion. So if you crush onion or chop onion, you get a classical eye-watering sensation and the like itchiness in the face. It's curcumin. So when you cut an onion, it releases curcumin. And a lot of things are the plants have. Garlic, for example, allicin gets produced when you crush a garlic. Chili and cayenne pepper contains capsaicin. That's what gives the heat. All of these things are good for human health. Capsaicin, that you can find in cayenne pepper and chili, is an anti-inflammatory antioxidant, lowers inflammation, and it can be analgesic, like lower pain. It has many good health properties, and that's something that plants contain, and it's kind of like pepper spray. It wards off predators from eating the plant. So it's almost as if God has created all these plants as medicines for man, and then put this thing in them that keeps rabbits and worms and bugs from eating up the man's medicine. And the very same thing that keeps the bugs from eating up the vegetables, whatever the herbs, helps humans. So it's almost like man is on a pedestal. God put like the top of the pinnacle of God's creation, and God favors man over animals. So if you look at reality and you're seeking the truth, you'll come to some conclusions. You'll see some patterns in reality. So yeah, anyway, curcumin is an anti-inflammatory. It's part of a multi-antioxidant protocol, and it's something I use to good effect. My multi-antioxidant protocol. So yeah. All right, I have my handful here, supplements. I'm gonna take this before it melts in my hand. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is also something that lowers inflammation in your body, especially if you take it with vitamin E. NAC works synergistically with vitamin E. Synergistically meaning if you take a synergistic effect is if you take vitamin E only, you might get like +1 anti-inflammation power, and if you take only NAC, you might get +1 anti-inflammation power. But if you combine these, you take both of them at the same time, you might expect to get +2 in total anti-inflammation power, but you actually get +3 or more. That's a synergistic effect. So this is a 200-gram bag. NAC, I bought it from My Protein, Swedish online supplement store. If you want to start taking NAC, you can start low. You can take 1 gram 3 times a day, or even less. You can take half a gram 3 times a day. If you have an inflammation problem, like a concussion or arthritis or asthma or COPD, any type of respiratory issue, NAC helps with that. Even the flawed medical system uses NAC for COPD patients and asthma patients and things like this. I don't take kindly to people calling me insane for telling them the truth. And doing the right thing, working to expose evil and corruption, and to relieve the oppressed, to spread information that helps people that are suffering as a result of being targeted by satanic evil people. I don't take kindly to people attacking me under the guise of friendliness, under the color of friendliness. As we could see transpiring in the chat tonight, pretending to be concerned, really are trying to hurt me and discredit me, so people won't believe what I'm saying. I've detached myself from that. I don't have like a fear of people not believing me when I tell them the truth, or I don't have a fear of ridicule, or I would have stopped a long time ago. I saw a quote on Instagram, once you truly stop caring about what other people think about you, you've reached a dangerously awesome level of freedom. There's some truth to that. A lot of people live their whole lives enslaved to fear of different things, including but not limited to the fear of death, the fear of being shunned, fear of being called crazy for if you speak the truth, like conspiracy theory truth. It's not even theory, conspiracy fact truth. If you can learn how to stop caring about that, then you drop some weight that will help you run faster, as it were. Instead of being weighed down and burdened by all these cares, unnecessary cares. I'm gonna have to refill this lighter. And it's getting to be time to mix out some more vitamin C water pretty soon. And there are actually people that are out to get me. That's the whole point of what I'm telling you about government gang stalking. But this person is trying to make it sound weird and trying to make it look crazy. But the whole point of government gang stalking, getting the word about that, is you tell the truth that there exists a secret program where people are out to get you if you tell an individual. Just like the total individuals of the Zersetzing program in Germany, they had the government out to get them, and civilian collaborators, unofficial, unofficial collaborators, unofficial collaborators, to be more precise.
Hello, babe.
Yeah,
Did you do your makeup?
yes.
Oh, good girl.
I need to poop.
Huh?
I need to poop.
Oh, oh no.
Do you want to go to my dad?
Yeah. Wait a minute. I will. I'm.
Okay.
I. I gotta turn off the microphone and camera so we can talk privately a little bit. Okay, yeah. So I'm about to finish up here, and I will return soon with We Wonderful, and we will be doing a live podcast episode, the Mike Saha podcast, and she will be the first guest. We made podcast episodes together before, but this will be the first episode of the Mike Saha podcast. Is what I'm going to call it. Not the Mike We podcast. I call it the Mike Saha podcast because she's not always going to be on with me. Maybe some other times I have somebody else on. If there's somebody I can find out that I'm going to have on as a guest, I might make a podcast with them, have guests on. So it will be called the Mike Saha podcast. I'm going to make the first episode. And that should start maybe 30 minutes to an hour from now. Okay, det ska bli the end of the live stream. And take care of yourself out there. If you're a total individual, you can find what you need to know on my channel. You can learn how to protect yourself in this program. And they want TIs to feel that they're in a futile position and there's nothing that they can do. And they want to create a sense of hopelessness and they want to demoralize you. So you need to learn how to stay strong despite being told with this program. And I'm able to do that, so obviously you can do that too if you apply my secrets to success that I teach on my channel. Alright, this is going to be the end of the live stream. I'm going to do 30-second countdown. And I'll be back on there, yeah, well, 30 minutes to an hour from now. It's lovely, be wonderful. I'm going to go brush my teeth, make some more coffee, and I'll be back soon. Okay, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and take care of yourself. If you know a total individual, you can share my live stream group. And if you know somebody has health problem, you can share my videos with them. You can learn on my channel, my main channel, as long as it stays up. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut that down completely sooner or later. I'm becoming too big of a threat to them, and they need to censor me.
if you have a lie that you want everybody to believe, you have to control the narrative, and you can't allow people speaking the truth that is contrary to your lie that you want everybody to believe, which shows that their position is weak and pathetic. Because if you're right, you're not worried about lies too much. But if you're trying to get people to believe lies, it's a threat to have people speaking the truth. Because the lie is weak and the truth is powerful. If you got a house of cards, this whole system is as a house of cards. It's built on lies. Right, det ska bli ändå lies inte till KSF. Bye.